Hello everyone and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah and today's video I'll be sharing 3 quick and easy home organization tips that I have found to be helpful recently and maybe you will too. This video is done in collaboration with many of the other speakers at Get Organized HQ, a free decluttering and organization conference that features all different amazing tips to help you get your life together, declutter your space, organize things effectively, and so much more. I'm thrilled to be one of the speakers at this free virtual event. If you haven't yet signed up for Get Organized HQ, you can do that in the link below so you won't miss out. If you don't sign up for this free conference, you will not be able to access the sessions. There is also a playlist below to all of the other wonderful speakers and their videos sharing 3 of their best home organization tips. Without further ado, let's get into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to look for hidden storage opportunities, and something that I have found very helpful recently has been focusing on magnetic storage opportunities. Recently, I have shifted to using magnetic containers on the side of my washer for lint trap as well as to store laundry detergent. Now I was using traditional laundry detergent, but we are finishing up our old plastic jug and we're switching to a zero waste option with drops. I'll leave a link below if you're curious to check them out. But essentially, I am now able to use this magnetic storage on the side of the washer rather than needing to stack these things on top or even to take up cabinet space that's already very limited. So by having the lint trap on the side, we used to have a plastic container that sat out on top of the dryer, but now we don't have to have that anymore. And although we're still finishing up this plastic laundry jug of detergent, this on the side storage is so much nicer. So once this is used up, I will not have to have anything out on top of the washer and dryer. And that just makes it so much easier to keep clean. We don't have to look at all this stuff that's out, or if you want to set a laundry basket up there, you have the space to do so. So there's a lot of perks. I also have found a lot of satisfaction in using magnetic calendars on the fridge instead of a paper-based calendar that would have to sit out on a surface. Since we weren't really using our fridge space anyway, it's just nice. It's sort of become our command center, if you will. And we have these 2 magnetic calendars. Again, I'll link them below if you're interested in checking them out. And we've been using this for about 4 months now. I find it to be really helpful to make sure that both myself and my husband Jake know what's going on. We color code events based upon whose event it is. So I write my decluttering coaching calls on there. If there's something we're doing together with family, that's a different color. So it's just helpful to stay organized, and instead of having that paper calendar sit out on the coffee table or in the kitchen counter or wherever it is, it's now vertical on the fridge, not taking up extra space. So I encourage you to think about ways you might be able to use hidden storage or vertical storage, magnetic storage to make your life a little easier and leave less clutter out and about. Tip number 2 is to move things around for a fresh perspective. So often, if we've been living a certain way for a long time, or you've been living in your home for a while, it's important to give ourselves a fresh start with the space and to spark some creativity. If your furniture has always been the exact same way, the same position, why not move something to switch it up a little bit? You could try to change the arrangement of the room. You might get a completely different feel of the room through doing this. You might try to move out one of your pieces of furniture. For instance, if you've got a chair in any room really, but let's say your bedroom, that really just collects clothing, or even worse, if you've got an old piece of workout equipment that you don't actually use to work out, but that just collects stuff, what if you moved it? When we move these things, our brain has to make a few adjustments to the space. We might have to find homes for things that were sitting out somewhere else, but we might find we don't even need certain pieces, or we find a new arrangement we love even better. It also can be helpful sometimes to test out several different options to see which one's your favorite. Just because we've stored things a certain way or used things a certain way doesn't mean that's the only way to use them or store them. I encourage you to give it a try in one of your rooms and see what you think. Tip number 3 is to utilize a temporary folder or temporary storage for certain areas that can be a bit cluttered and need to be dealt with more regularly. For me, what I find to be very helpful is having a temporary folder on my desktop. Through my work as an online creator and also curriculum developer, I create so many different files and download so many different files all the time for my projects, and it can be a lot very quickly. The temporary folder on the desktop is a great way that I can put my temporary files in a nice contained place, but then I can easily delete those or move forward, at the end of each month or whatever designated period. It also prevents visual clutter on the desktop and also prevents that obscene number of files accumulating in the downloads folder or somewhere else on your device. Likewise, you can use this with paper clutter. If you've got a lot of paper clutter coming in that needs to be dealt with, maybe you don't have the time or the bandwidth to tackle it each day. Maybe you instead want to keep these documents in a folder and go through it once a week and take care of anything that needs to be done. Really batch those tasks so they're not laying around everywhere and then you forget about something or it just feels like this big burden. Put it in the folder, batch it once a week or every other week, whatever works for you, and you don't have to think about it the rest of the time. Likewise, we can also use clutter traps on a certain surface to contain clutter so that the rest of the area stays open. I actually use this on my dresser. My dresser is completely open with the exception of this little tray where I keep our essential oil diffuser and a few essential oils, and then our clock sits next to it. So it's a great way to simplify things and have overall a very clean look, but also a set place where you put things. And I think everyday carry items also work in the same way. If you have a little bowl or tray for those everyday carry items, then they're not going to be spread out everywhere. I hope you found these tips helpful, but remember, there are so many other wonderful videos with other conference speakers sharing their top 3 tips as well. So that playlist is linked below, as well as the sign up to register for Get Organized HQ. It's going to be an amazing conference this September, and you don't want to miss it. It's free to sign up, and that link is below as well. If you want to check out some of my past videos, you can do so here or subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye.